Welcome to Kill Night. It's a new twin stick. It's pretty good. Mostly just has score players, but I prefer speedrunning. This is a compilation of all my current PBs. There are 5 levels, so far at least. There might be more DLC in the future, but I'll just try to explain my strats. For this first level, I like to use the AR heavy weapon. It's the fastest heavy weapon for small enemy types, but it loses out for larger enemies. Also, the auto-seeking missiles it's paired with are pretty good, but they're also very random. My strats for the first part of Solitude is to use the Wrath Burst for the second big cannonball enemy thing. Right here, just trying to line up some good lines with the AR. Although I think it's actually faster for this part to target down the spiders first before killing the big cannonball dude, but I just went for the easy opportunity that presented itself. Got the nice sword insta-kill there. The fourth sword has individual hitboxes on every one of the projectiles, and they can overlap if you're within an enemy's hurtbox. It's pretty precise, pretty hard to do, but almost always worth going for. Gotta preserve the Wrath Burst for those two right there. And ending this in the low 130s is pretty good. It's just an interesting mix of preserving the primary weapon ammo, while also using the AR to compensate whenever there are too many enemies at once. Now, I took damage there, but it doesn't matter too much. The kill power does drain, and the kill power raises your speed as well as your rate of fire. The main speed strats are basically just don't get hit until you're at max kill power, at which point damage boosts to your heart's content. Now for this part, you can either kill the big enemy with the AR, or use the heavy weapon, or I mean the Wrath Burst. But if you use the Wrath Burst, you won't have it again for the little wormy guy. And the wormy guy can get you to pretty high kill power real quick, and basically automatically refills the Wrath Burst you spent on it, so it goes neutral in terms of advantage. And those two fuckers, Cannonball Boys, just totally haxed me. I totally killed them. You saw it. I aimed at them, I pulled the trigger, but I did not hit them, because they're cheaters. And the auto-target, not only for this weapon, but the auto-target for the other weapons that have the feature are pretty ass, not gonna lie. It's the most annoying thing about this game because of just how much time variance it has for that. It's for the Reap Fire, which is the assault rifle, and for the Holy Bane, which is like a long distance shotgun. Now earlier there with the grasshopper parryable boy, it's usually better to wait for the parry opportunity, depending on how much you want ammo and heavy weapon ammo and sword charge. But usually, if a quick opportunity comes for killing them, then I just take it. It doesn't matter too much unless you really need a big 3 sword bar or charge attack ready for a specific point, which does come up in a lot of the other levels, but not in this first one. Now, the spawns are a little bit weird for this one as far as twin sticks go. They do have a very slight bias to spawn more enemies closer to you, but there are, some enemies have set spawn points for each section where they will spawn far away at different points in the same places every time. Sometimes the spawns are just random where they spawn, but there is a very slight bias for them to spawn near you. And the camera is fairly zoomed in for this game as far as most twin sticks I know go. You don't really get to see a lot of the screen, so you don't really want to stick to only one corner of the map, as is usually the optimal play that you're trying to find out how to do to out-offense the enemies so that you could just stand still in a corner, so there's a minimal time loss between aiming at different enemies. But this one is a little different. There are some places, some levels you can do that for. But usually you want to stand about maybe 3 kill knight lengths away from the wall. Yeah, finished that pretty well. It was my first sub 5. This is definitely my most optimized individual level so far. I'm using the same pistols in every single level. There are a few different pistols. Only one of them is good, though. I used to think the other pistols were good, too, until I unlocked the last difficulty level, the Sufferance. The way the difficulty levels work is that it makes the enemies go faster. And as you can see, the pistols are like, it's a grenade launch pistol. And AoE is a lot more impactful the closer enemies are to each other. And the faster enemies go, the closer they will be to each other on average. So it just makes the AoE pistols super broken. The other ones don't even compare. I forget which charms I used for a lot of these. It doesn't show unless you set a new high score. It doesn't show on the results screen themselves. But for the first level, I used the first charm, which raises kill power faster, which I used to think was a complete ass charm. Ass charm. Did not mean to say it like that, but yeah, I used to think it was not a good charm, but it's pretty good for level 1. The first charm increases the amount of kill power you get from each gem. I learned recently that the other charm that increases the distance from which you can pick up the blood shards is actually faster for raising kill power in the later levels, but for level 1, the first charm is better for raising kill power. Got a nice insta-kill on that dude. I don't know how the insta-kill mechanics work exactly, because usually if you do the insta-kill properly, or try to do the insta-kill properly on those dudes after they've fully spawned, you need to also shoot them a couple times, but if you get them right as they're spawning, it'll always kill them. I gotta save some secondary ammo for when the 4 blade thingies spawn. Yeah, right there. The end of this section is a little bit tricky because you gotta use your heavy weapon ammo on the blade thingies, but it usually means you gotta finish it off with just your primary pistols. That was a burp. You're welcome. Now I learned that the reload burst for the pistol is faster than is almost always faster in and of itself than the sword reload burst, except if you're going for the insta kills. But the reason it's faster is only because you gain control of yourself more quickly, so you can resume firing more quickly. Now for this part, the spider thingies, the spiders that shoot flaming balls out of their ass at you, they always spawn all over the map, very spread out. So, you really just want to get them down with the AR. The AR is super good for spread out small enemies, but it loses time versus the other heavy weapons versus the larger enemies. So you have to be more careful with your use of your wrath bursts and your use of the sword insta kills. I know it looks like the spiders are shooting out from in front of them, but I know how spiders work in real life. And in real life, spiders don't shoot things out their mouth, they shoot things out their butt. So as far as I'm concerned, they all shoot flaming balls out of their ass. They just went to Taco Bell last night. But anyway, I learned that for this part, it's faster to do the slowdown parry instead of the normal parry. If you do the slowdown parry, it takes one of the sword charge bars. But there's a specific point ahead of this, I forget exactly where, that I want to use, that I'm saving it up right now for. And for that part, it's faster to just use the slowdown anyway than to do or it's just as fast to use one bar to slow it down than to use all 3 bars for the big attack there. Got a really good timing for the sword reload burst there. It's not routed. Yeah, I just got lucky for this specific run, but it doesn't matter too much. The spinny saw thingies, the weakest version of the spinny saw thingies, are pretty weak, pretty quick to take down. They can just spread out and deal a lot of melee damage, which the other enemies you can kind of walk through. Like, even the melee, base enemy, you can basically walk right through them, as long as you walk straight and don't lag. They don't have time to kill you, which is very different. Here's the big sword attack thingy. Yeah, this is the end of this level. That must have been what I was saving it for. Now, what the hell was I saying? Yeah, I forgot what I was saying. Who cares? Words aren't important. 503 still have not gotten a sub 5. I don't know why entanglement is such a pain in the ass to optimize. It's like it's mostly because of the auto-target BS. But like, it's harder than it should be. And I'm using the Holy Bane here. The Holy Bane is the long-distance shotgun, and it ricochets. Which is really funny whenever devs put in a ricochet enemy, because like, they have to choose every single map to be like, okay, are we gonna put walls here and make this weapon OP or not? It's such a weird mechanic to tie to just random stage decisions. But yeah, the stages for this level are usually closed off. And there are a few places where it's like really closed off and it just ricochets all over the damn place and it's super good. Yeah, those 2 cannonball dudes always spawn below the spinny death pillar. You can dash through the spinny death pillars, fun fact. And also, a couple times, how did I not parry that thing? Totally got cheated. But, yeah, a few times the big cannonball dudes spawned inside of the spinny death pillar and just instantly died, which is kind of hilarious. Now, this is the part of the level I'm the least sure on how to approach, just with how spread out the enemies are. It's very, very confusing. A lot of different ways to do it. And if the camera zoom was a little bit further out, or you had some control of the camera zoom, it would probably be more viable to just corner camp. And not sure what your opinions are on it, but corner camping is fun. I think it's funny, and it's enjoyable as long as there's a decent amount of, like, you kind of forced to move away from it, but you kind of just dance around the corner. So it depends on the stage shape. Sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's boring. Depends on how easy it is and whatnot. Now for this part, I just stay near the bottom. This is actually my favorite stage section of the level, which is such a shame because it's also, like, the shortest one. I used to be a really big fan of the piercing pistols, but when I unlocked the last difficulty level, I was like, oh yeah, AoE is goddamn broken. So I guess don't gotta use my favorite weapon anymore. Now for this part, I'm also unsure how to approach. I only have like 100 hours in the game, which isn't that much to really learn what to do with the game. Like, until you have 400 to 500 hours, you're a noob, as far as I'm concerned. And you can't really be a pro at a game until you have, like, at least 1,000, 2,000 hours in it. It's just how progression works. I do speedrun another twin stick that's really fun, really good. I like it better than this one, but this one's fun too. It's a nice little change of pace that I can distract myself from my main game with. Now for that last section with the parry thing, always gotta line up a good long-distance shotgun shot to pierce through the 3 spinny saw things. I think I normally used to use the 3-bar sword attack for this section just because I didn't want to deal with the goddamn spread out enemies on the 4 isolated pillars. But I learned that there was a really good juicy spot to use it on just after this section, so I've started to do that route instead. Strange. Yeah, this is a older run. I actually think that spot isn't good either. I might be thinking of a new change that I made instead of this one. It's always funny how that works. Some of the parryable enemies or insta-killable enemies can be really annoying. Specifically ones that haven't been shown yet, the ones that have like a mouth tum, that have a mouth where their tum is. I just call them mouth tums, which is better than the other name I considered calling them, which is the orange vagina stomach. So yeah, sorry for cursing you with that horrendous name. But anyway, this part is a little hard. Like, I still haven't learned the right lineup to be able to hit both of the big spiders with the piercing shotgun. It isn't like directly a straight line; it's kind of diagonal and a little bit weird. Now I should have just popped. Yeah, I should have popped that a few seconds earlier. The wrath burst. You can actually insta-kill those pillars with just one sword use, even if they're not inflictumed. On inflictum, I think it increases the damage on them. The inflictum thing is when they're blue and they move slow, and I think damage is increased on them. I don't know. The game is very vague with its mechanics. The exact stats. Oh yeah, this is the juicy part where you can just shoot anywhere and it'll just ricochet everywhere. It's really just satisfying. You can basically just close your eyes and spam it. Yeah, inflict them is when they're blue. And yeah, I was talking about like the vagueness of the stats. It's funny, in one of the updates they were like, we're changing the specific blood requirement for the wrath shot of this specific weapon from this value to this value. And I was just like, bruh, what the fuck? We don't have any bearing on what those values are. How the fuck is that supposed to help? Not that I'm trying to knock the devs, like, they're fairly responsive to all the criticisms of the game. It's just a small dev team, and the game just came out, so we might get some data mining or some specific stats on them eventually. The devs are nice about that usually. Nice. My sum of best in game time is 35 something or other. But checking the length of this video real quick, it's like 40-ish minutes. Watch me waste the big sword attack on the pillar guys just because they're so annoying. But yeah, the game is more fun to run for in-game time because pretty much there are like a dozen different actions that cause the game to slow down for no reason. And instead of optimizing it to the point where it doesn't slow down the game, the devs were like, you know what, fuck it, that's too much work, we'll have to like optimize all this shit, so let's just tie the in-game timer to the in-game speed. Which is really helpful for speedruns, because that means if timed that way, you can use the slow down time mechanic without being penalized. And you don't need to feel like you need to anally micromanage all of the little individual events that can slow down the game. So yeah, I got a 659 here. Broke the sub 7 barrier. Now, an interesting thing about this game is that since on the higher difficulty levels, the enemies move faster to you, and you are the damage source, it means that the higher the difficulty level is, the faster it is. So it's one of those games where the more skill you have and the higher difficulty you play on, it's both more difficult and faster, which is really cool when games are like that. I think my video quality for this run is a little bit worse than normal, but whatever. It's still legible. Now this level has a pretty lenient route for sword bar charge. Because the first situation where you really want to use it comes pretty late in. You don't really need to use it until then, and it's not long enough that it's worth it to slow down and get 2 uses of it. It's interesting that I'm using the Holy Bane here, because I think recently I've switched in this level to using Reapfire again. It's just super, super random. Like, a good use of Reapfire versus a bad use can save or lose 4 seconds. It's just so annoying. The auto-target AI is pretty garbage in this game. And it's funny, because the auto-target also works worse the faster the enemies are moving, which means on a higher difficulty level, one of the things that adds to the difficulty is the actual AI of your weapons. Which is pretty annoying. It's also pretty funny. Got the wormy guy there to get up to full. Did not want to inflict him that thing, but yeah, it doesn't really matter. Oh yeah, like, until recently I have been like all over the place with the routing for the sword bar charge. But I learned that it doesn't matter if you kill that parryable enemy earlier very quickly, because of the route being so lenient. So sometimes I still accidentally are like, oh, I gotta slow down to parry this damn thing, but you don't. Still learning. It's around here that I like to use the big sword attack, but I also want to carry it over into the part with the spread out saw thingies. Yeah, right here with the spread out saw thingies. It's especially necessary in the Reapfire route, because the Reapfire does not have enough damage to deal with all those saws. Now right there, that orange mouth tum, the weird mouth tums, those are so annoying, because they're so inconsistent when they give you opportunities, or how they give you opportunities for the insta-kill. Like, I think it's when you do enough damage to them before they move away to a new location. But if you do too much damage, like, you can just skip over the range, even if they don't move to a new location, and it's just very inconsistent. And the mouth tums are the primary cause of sword charge route inconsistencies. It's really annoying, especially in the later levels. Now for this time, I killed the 2 pillars quickly, but I recently changed my strats for leaving the pillars alive, because the pillars actually make the enemies go faster, and as we've discussed before, faster enemies equals your the enemies moving closer to the damage source. And you are the damage source, so the faster the enemies move towards you, the faster the enemies move towards death. This part is really difficult to learn how to do, but once you learn how to do it, it's not too bad. It's just very narrow, tight spaces. You gotta kill the shooting spiders as quickly as you can, while also not getting meleeed by the other thingies. I'm not sure if the enemies actually have names or not. Like, I just call them whatever, like the shooty spiders, the melee grunts, the cannonball dudes, the laser dudes, the triple laser dudes, and the mouth tums. There are a few other types of enemies too. I really wish the controller, or there was an aim sight for controller, because there is an aim sight for keyboard and mouse. Which is kind of ironic, because on the open screen to the game, the devs are like they say real knights use a gamepad, and it's like, bruh, you put in a nerf for gamepad players. It's like, you can't be saying that and put in a nerf for gamepad players. Although maybe they're like, you know what, keyboard mouse players are noobs, so we're gonna have to help them out with an extra little thing, because otherwise they just wouldn't be able to compete with the superior form of control. Now I'm pretty sure the 3-bar sword attack for this level doesn't matter too much when you use it, Although I have lately changed to using it a little bit later in this section right here instead of the prior section, just because those big floaty pillar dudes are annoying as hell. An important thing I learned about the pillar dudes is that their projectiles take, they do have a movement speed, and they fire out almost immediately upon aiming. So if you're close to them when they're firing it off, they can instantly hit you. So you want to be very careful and only go close to them if you are paying attention to when they fired last and you know they're not going to fire again soon. Otherwise, you'll just get instantly OHKO'd, which has happened to me a lot, and until I learned how their projectiles moved, it really, really tripped me up, and I was just dying all over the place, not knowing why. This is one of those noob crusher sections. It's just really funny to watch people mess up on. Yeah, I shouldn't have used the sword there. It's really hard to micromanage all of the different... How the fuck did I reach the insta-kill barrier for one shot? Those things make no goddamn sense. It might be tied to like a timing, where if you shoot them at a certain time and deal enough damage, it'll kill them. I know a couple enemies work like that. So it might just be like if you do enough damage at certain moments in time in their shooting cycle, it'll cause them to go into the weakened insta-kill state. Yeah, I forgot what I was saying before, but whatever. Another pillar dude, instantly kill it. Ignore speed, ignore all the other enemies, and just kill the pillar dudes because they're so damn annoying. Yeah, I think I was saying that I should have used the pistol reload burst a little while back, because whenever you're basically at full heavy weapon ammo, it's almost always better to use the pistol burst instead of the sword burst. Now, I don't know what the actual name for the reload burst is. Again, the devs they're not very good about naming things and making those names for things public, so I'm just some random idiot that calls things whatever the hell he feels like. So yeah, there's another level gone, 813, with the Holy Bane. 2 more levels to go. Reset. Yeah, I learned that for this level, it's faster to use the Judge Cannon, which is the double barrel RPG. It's about even with the Holy Bane for the non-boss section, but it's a lot faster for the boss section. I'm always careful to not put Inflictum on the triple laser dudes, because it just makes it so much slower. Inflictum doesn't last long enough in order to parry them again, and it interrupts their shooting, so that basically if you put Inflictum on one of those types, you cannot do the parry on them for a really long time. Got a nice insta-kill on that. The Judge Cannon is the only heavy weapon that can OHKO some of the larger enemies. Ooh, kill him just in time for the transition there. Now, I think in modern attempts, modern routing, I use the 3 sword bar attack at the beginning of this section, just because whenever there are spread out small spiders, that it's really hard to deal with them optimally. And the spiders hold up the flow of spawns a lot more than the other enemies do. The melee enemies are faster, have a larger hurt box, and are just really easy to kill efficiently at any point in time. And they don't hold up the spawns as much as the spiders do. This section of the level is pretty easy. Now for those missile enemies, if you would use the baseball method to just smack them away, it's a little bit slower because they do hold up the spawns a little bit, and the faster you kill them, the better. So it's faster to just shoot them normally. Strangely, the projectiles that come out of the projectile sword won't hit them away like a baseball bat. So if you hit them with that, then they'll just die instantly. The judge cannon is really hard to position. The hurt boxes for the enemies are really weird in this game. It's a little bit because of the isometric perspective, but I also think they're very uneven between the front and the back, so depending on where the enemies are looking, the hitboxes are like really all over the place. So the instant OCOs the Judge Cannon offers are a little bit hard to get, and I'm still learning how to improve with it. Noob killer section. I missed right there. Exactly what I was talking about. I'm still a noob. I only got 100 hours. Now for this part, I just decided to fuck all the laser gates. I ain't walking back and forth, and I don't want to be surrounded. And I've done a little bit of testing, not a whole lot, but a little bit of testing with both methods of approaching this section, and this is one of the sections I have found where it's faster to just corner camp. Glorious corner camping. I don't know how I missed that reload burst right there. I totally hit it in time. For this part, you want to wait a little bit until there are only 2 lasers to pass over, and then you go and kill that spider. Yeah, that one got brought into the instant OCO range, or instant kill range with just 1 shot, which I really think it's just due to the timing of when they spawn. It's very weird. Now, I'm noticing as I'm watching this is like my least optimized level. It's just really long. So that's why I haven't taken as much time to perfect it. But I am overusing the sword reload burst and underusing the pistol reload burst. Just noticing self-critiquing. That's the best part of doing these post-commentaries, is that I get a good excuse to analyze my own strategies and see what I've done wrong. Now for this laser gate section, it's a great noob killer. But if you time it right, just 1 dash is enough to outlast the gates. Although it's very, very precise with 1 dash, but with 2 dashes, you can guarantee, you can chain the dash and vulnerability together. And I don't know of a good thing to call it, so I'm just going to rip off Smash Bros. Melee and call it Dash Dancing. If anyone has a better name, put it in the comment section. Killed those 2 big spiders really well, really quickly. If you stand in the middle of the 2 grasshoppers, you can parry them both at once, which does not offer any benefit, aside from being very, very satisfying. And it's just like, gives maximum OCD points, you know? Now this is a part that's really easy to fuck up on. And it's really annoying that this is like nearish the end of the non-boss section, because you really want the 3 sword bar attack for the boss, and if you don't have it, you lose a bunch of time, which is really dumb that the mouth tums are in the ending section. More of the annoying pillar dudes that caused more resets in this level than any other enemy for me. But I killed him quickly this time. Not today, pillar dudes. Not today. I'm using the 2- armor here instead of the 3- armor, which I usually prefer. As you notice, there are many times where I do not realize that, oh yeah, you can dash through the pillars, as I told you like 2 levels ago. Still learning the game mechanics and whatnot. The human brain does not easily learn things, such as tangible object is actually not tangible. It is tangible when you walk into it, but not if you run really, really fast. Nice. How did I missed that shot horribly. Yeah, I really shouldn't have used the big sword attack here. I should have saved it for the boss. Although I think it's still possible to get more sword charge after this, or enough sword charge for the boss. But it's just very hard. And in this game, if you die, and you just have to do the entire level over again. It definitely has a skill floor. You can't really enjoy the game until you're good enough at it. Just one more sword charge enemy would have given me enough to use at least once in the boss. But yeah, the plot of this game, they claim that you're going into hell to kill the last angel, and it's like, does that mean the devil is the last angel, or that it's not an angel? And it looks like a brain and the Winged Dragon of Ra sphere mode, but turned into a zombie. It's like the Winged Dragon of Ra zombie mode. I don't know what it's based off of. Maybe it's like some weird, biblically accurate angel bull. But yeah, using the sword reload burst a lot because of the multiple hitbox Gs. Still haven't learned when the boss is in the vulnerable state, because it's a very subtle visual difference. Not super great at the boss yet, but I have been theory crafting. Now for this part, I mess up this section because multiple hits of the big weapon, or of the heavy weapon of the double barrel RPG, hit the pillars instead, but you can take down the first phase of the boss with one full use of the heavy weapon and one sword reload burst, which I do not do here, and I lose like 4 or 5 seconds. Now for the really easy section, the boss doesn't know it, but by calling for help, he's actually just giving us more ammo. So thanks for the ammo, dummy. And done. Now, the timer there says I killed him at 10:02, but because of reasons... What reasons, you may ask? I don't know. Reasons. The final time will be 13 seconds slower than that. But yeah, thanks for watching. I hope my commentary was mildly helpful and mildly entertaining. I plan to improve, but I just really hope someone else starts speedrunning this game too, because it's just not fun to run alone. But bye.